Peace, fam. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. I've actually been wanting to do this for quite some time, and I just never found the time to actually do it. So I said, well, while I'm sitting here and I have the time, let me touch on this subject. And it's a pet peeve of mine. Um, and basically, it's called How to Critique a Movie. Now, I could get broader in terms of critique. I know that there's books you can critique, there's television shows, there's artwork. There's all kinds of things you can critique. I'm going to use um, the movie genre or the movie industry or just film in general, and you can apply this to everything when it comes to critique. One of the things that pisses me off, and especially when I go and see movies, I like getting input from people who actually see the movie. So, like, if somebody's putting money out of their pocket and going to see a movie and paying, I believe that their input and their review is more valuable than some guy who's getting paid by a newspaper or paid by some television show who gets to see the movie for free, has no, he doesn't have any commitment to, nothing's coming out of their pocket, him or her, nothing is coming out of their pocket by going to see this movie. And to me, that's a factor in whether you tell somebody whether they should see something or not. Because when I do these reviews on my channel, I take money out of my pocket and I actually see these movies. So I'm not going to tell anybody to go see a movie that I don't feel is worth seeing. And if I tell somebody the movie just okay, then that's what I mean. It's okay. It's not great, so enter at your own risk. You might have a different opinion than mine. But there's a way that you review and a way that you critique movies. And I won't say review, I'll say critique. Because before you can review it, you have to critique it. You all know that I like using analogies, and I just feel that this is the best analogy to use. Watching a movie is like having sex. When you're having sex, you are not sitting there judging and critiquing every lick and every suck and every moan. You're getting a blowjob. You don't sit there and go, yeah, I don't like the way that your tongue touched my dick right there. Or maybe you should. Nobody does that. The whole thing that makes you enjoy sex is that you have to accept what's coming at you. You have to accept the experience. You have to be in it. You got to be involved in it. You're communicating and connecting with another individual. There's no time for critique. And seeing a movie is the same exact process. I hate watching these movies, and I hate seeing people who in the middle of a movie you're critiquing. You're sitting back looking at the movie, and instead of you enjoying the movie and taking it in for what it is, you're critiquing every freaking dialogue, every scene, everything during the movie while you're watching it. That's not how you critique a movie. Because you never sat back and actually accepted the world that the director is trying to paint for you. You have to accept, just like in sex, when somebody comes to you and they're connecting with you on that physical level, you can't critique the way that they're connecting with you. You have to allow it to happen. Now, what happens is, this is where your critique comes in. You sit back and you go to the movies and you say, all right, do me. In other words, have sex with me. Let's see what happens. You sit back and you enjoy the experience. You try to enjoy the experience, I should say. You get into it. Now just like with a movie and just like with sex, there are certain things that can happen that can take you out of the experience. Like, you can be having sex with someone and they do something really, really stupid or something really, really disrespectful or something way off the box of what your comfort zone is, and it takes you out of the experience. Same thing can happen in the movie. So I'm not complaining that people will get taken out of a movie, but to me that says something about the execution and the way that the movie is done. But for the most part, you sit back, you enjoy the ride, enjoy the experience. Take it all in, and you accept what the director and the team that put that movie together are giving you at face value. You say, this is the concept, let me sit back and let me enjoy it. Now, after the experience is over, just like with sex, you either enjoyed the experience or you thought the experience sucked. This is where the critique comes in. Because then when you're sitting back and you're looking and trying to come up with your review of what you're going to say, you say, all right, well, this is what I really liked about that. And it's the same thing with sex. Like when you're having sex with a girl, I'm good. Well, I'm a guy, so I'm thinking of having sex with a girl. So excuse me, I can't speak for the women having sex with men. That's just the way it is. But if you're having sex with your partner, and what you do is you look back and you say, man, that was really good. That was really intense. That was great. And then you start thinking about what was great about it. What did you like? What did you enjoy? You know? Now, you usually don't think about anything bad unless there was something that, this made you feel uncomfortable or whatever. You usually just think about the good things that happen and you try to critique. There might be some times when during sex you'll have a good thing going on and then certain things make you feel uncomfortable, but then you go back to feeling good and you enjoyed the overall experience, but you had some problems or a little slight complaints. That happens. Same thing with a movie. Same thing with a movie. I cannot take these pretentious douchebags, and I can tell when I'm not going to point anybody out, but there's a couple of channels that I just can't take, man, in terms of movie reviews, because it's like they point to every little minute detail and blow it up to be bigger than what it actually is. It's like, listen, come on. If I'm going to see Fast 6, you have to know, oh, before I even get to that, let me just break that part down. You have to know what the genre is that you're reviewing. If I'm going to review Freddy versus Jason, I can't judge Freddy versus Jason by a soldier story standards. It's two completely different genres. You have to accept the genre. Now, if you don't accept the genre, then don't see the fucking movie. It's crazy to me. I seen a review where somebody did a review of Pacific Rim. And they're talking about, oh, the concept and premise is ridiculous. Instead of having robots fight the kaiju, maybe they should have set up traps for the kaiju to kill them that way. What the fuck are you talking about? If you do that, then that destroys the whole concept of the movie. The point of the movie was to see robots fighting monsters. Traps? I mean, don't go and see the movie. If you don't appreciate the genre, don't see the movie. If somebody can't appreciate and accept the genre of martial arts, don't see a martial arts movie. If you don't accept the genre of horror, don't see a horror movie. If you don't accept the genre of action film, then don't go see an action film. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to see those things, you got to accept them for what they are. And you review them accordingly. So if I review Freddy versus Jason, I'm going to compare Freddy versus Jason to the other Jason movies and the other Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street movies, or things within that genre. This is just common sense to me, but I really had to say this because I'm getting so tired of watching these reviews, and it's nothing that's more teeth grating and annoying than watching a pretentious douchebag reviewer, who's trashing a film because, first of all, they don't respect the genre of the film. They don't respect the film itself. They critique the film while they were watching it, so they never had the ability to just sit back and enjoy what the movie was all about. So then why are you reviewing it? So you can just rag on a movie? That doesn't interest me. If you're going to do something that's going to be helpful and productive for people so that they can make decisions. Like there was a brother who didn't like my review of White House Down. He said it sucked. I totally appreciate that, and I totally understand why he felt that movie sucked. I happen to enjoy the movie. I went to see it as a matinee. I thought I was going there completely expecting to see complete and utter trash, and I was pleasantly surprised. But I can understand how somebody can watch that movie and go, that's some bullshit. I have no problem. I actually told him it was a good review, and he did a good job, and I appreciated his review. So we have different points of views, but my point is to give my take on things, and accept it if you want to, or if you don't, whatever. It's just like I can have sex with a girl and think it's the bomb. Another person can have sex with the same girl and say, man, that shit was whack. It's all subjective. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's how I go about my process of reviewing a movie, and I just want to share that with all of my fam. So I did what I was supposed to do on this case. Holler at you good people later. Peace.